Hey guys, what's up? It's Finch here. Today we're going to be doing a video on the never used metagame, much like overused, which I will be doing a video on the server results of soon. And you also had a recent tiering survey. Unfortunately, I was pretty busy today. I filled it out, so I was not able to combine that with a video, but I am going to discuss my thoughts as well as the community's results in this video. For those who don't know, I'm a pretty avid NU player. I'm one of the tier leaders of that community alongside my good friend Shilo or Roses or Kavothe. I'm not really sure what he goes by right now, but that's my guy right there. We put out a survey along to address the NU counts for the community to respond, and 49 of our finest players gave it a go and gave us their thoughts. And I'm really excited to break this down for you guys, give you some more NU content. Looking forward to bringing some tournament coverage of that in September and October for the Smogon Championship League as well, which is a big tournament that's coming up. I'm going to put a lot of content in the channel about, but in the meantime, this video will have to suffice. Maybe some NU lives if you guys hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. I might just have to bring some more NU content, so stay tuned for that. But anyway, guys, how's everyone been doing? Before we get into server, just want to give a little catch up. I had some close friends in town recently. It was really amazing seeing them. I've had a really good couple weeks between going to New Orleans, which I talked about in one of my prior videos, and then seeing my friends and just chilling out. Been super busy between work and social life and family. I've had a couple of trips to see family members, which is always cool. Sometimes a little scary, but kind of cool, you know. Just been pretty happy. For the first time in a while, honestly. Kind of thriving at the moment, so it's great. It's a good time to be me. What can I say? I'm just loving it. So let's keep that ball rolling. Let's keep that momentum going. Let's talk about NU, a tier that, of course, I love as well. So yeah, on a scale of 1 to 10, how enjoyable do you find the current metagame? Now, I was right between a 7 and 8. I think I ultimately gave it a 7, but this tier is pretty fun. Metagame really slaps. I mean, you see a lot of the results are high. I mean, we see the bulk of the results, 31 of the 49 responses, which is well over half, responded with a 7 or an 8. And then we had another 13 of them in 6, 9, or 10. So basically, we see only 10% of the responses at 5 or lower, which is 5 out of 49. And then we see all the others in the good section. Now, you know, 6 is kind of borderline. 7's like, yeah, it's pretty good, but not really good. But 8's like, yeah, we're feeling it. And 9 and 10, hell yeah. So I'm liking that. I think this says that people are really enjoying playing the metagame. There's room for creativity. There's room for the better player to win more often than not. And there's also just room to kind of do what you want. Like, if you want to use kind of an un-Pokemon, something that's more like P or Z, you can definitely integrate it onto your team. If you want to play super tryhard, you can. If you want to use offense, great. Bulky teams, sure, that's fine. There's room for it all, and I think the metagame is really enjoyable. I think there's a lot going around, and I'm really happy that that is the case in the metagame right now, especially as a NU leader, but also as someone who's inherited an amazing community. I just gotta say thank you to all my players for just making this community in the tier as fun as it is. So this is for y'all. You know how it is. Yeah, the average was a 7.27 out of 10, which, yeah, right up that alley. As you see there, kind of between 7 and 8, closer to the 7 side, but still, that's really good. Now, how competitive the tier is. I think this has always been the more important of the two questions. And here I was a firm 7. I was between 7 and 8. I was a firm 7. There are some roadblocks and hindrances towards consistent team building when using more of a varied assortment of Pokemon, if you will. There's some Pokemon that maybe restrict the metagame a little bit too much. There are some Pokemon that maybe cause some concern when approaching constructing your teams, but that's fine. Every metagame has those few roadblocks, those few hindrances, and we're also working towards potentially removing those Pokemon from the tier. And we're going to discuss some of those later in the video, but in the meantime, still a lot of people. I mean, again, over half the people responded 7 or 8. That's 25 people, and then if you combine that with 6, then it's over 2/3. I mean, basically. So yeah, and then almost everyone else is at 9 or 10. Really, only 4 people were below 5. It's less than 10%, and the one person that responded 1 for both of those was kind of trolling, I think, so it's fine. We don't acknowledge that. The one, you could just cut that off your screen right now. Like you just put your like 2 fingers on your screen if you're using your phone, or like a hand on your screen. You just block out that one and just keep watching the rest of the video. All right, good. Thank you. Anyway, I think this says that the metagame maybe has some ways to go in terms of being more competitive. We maybe integrate a suspect or 2 or a retest or 2 into the future, depending on the pulse of the community and how people respond to future questions in order to reach a higher level of competitiveness. But with that said, it's still 7.14 out of 10, which is a pretty damn high number in my opinion. I mean, it's within the ballpark of 7.27. Overall, I'm really fond of that, so that's great. Yeah, so I mean, it means the player base uses the metagame as competitive and balanced to a good extent. So I'm good with that, good extent, I'm good with that. Anyway, let's keep the ball rolling. We got Sirfetchd. Sirfetchd has been a controversial Pokemon for the longest time, and almost half the people responded with a 4 because of that. And if you couple that with 5, that's 29 out of 49, which, you know, that's upwards of 60%, I believe. It's pretty impressive. Lot. No, it's actually at sorry, let me do math here. 45 plus 14. Yeah, it's okay. So it's just a smidge, 1 vote below 60%. But truth be told is that, yeah, while it's true that some people give it a 1, a few people give it a 2, and a lot of people give it a 3, it's not really a clear consensus that should stay in the tier. There are a lot of people that think it might be suspect worthy, and this is where it gets complicated because a lot of people thought leak was problematic initially, but we made a policy fair on that, and it was almost unanimously agreed upon that leak shouldn't be acted on. So now, like, damn, okay, are we going to be acting on Sirfetchd or not? It's just a big discussion, and luck items in general, a pretty big discussion. But ultimately, we're gonna have to keep that in mind when moving forward. Definitely gotta be cognizant of that. I think I think that suspecting Sirfetchd would be fair, but also I also think we should get the pulse of the community more through written arguments in the threads and through talking with the council. So we're definitely gonna go ahead and do our due diligence and find the best solution for the tier. I definitely want to say that this is being considered, but I don't want to like draw a 100% conclusion like, yeah, we're going to suspect Sirfetchd. The choice band set is devastating. The leak set, Sword Dance or 4 attacks is devastating. There's a lot of strong stuff it does. I mean, Strappy, choice band, close combat plus first impression plus knockoff Brave Bird, you know, those type of moves. Very hard to switch into. Not many Pokemon can. We see things like Talonflame, Sylveon that are pretty common. I mean, Poison types, even then they don't really like very reliable counterplay per se. It is just an outright nuke. Yes, it's slow and it's a little fragile, but mono fighting typing besides flying, oh my god, and fairy, there aren't many common types to really hit it. Psychic's not super prevalent in the metagame right now. So it's able to really get in once or twice every game and really do its thing, if not more. And if you pair it with right support, they can really amplify that as well. So yeah, Sirfetchd is super duper strong. One of the strongest physical attackers in the metagame. It does have some limitations due to speed and bulk, but those can be mitigated through team support and some crafty maneuvering as well. Overall, Sirfetchd, I gave it a 4. Personally, I would be good with the suspect, but I'm not really sold on it quite yet. I would be good with the suspect, but I wouldn't vote ban necessarily on the suspect. Like, that's kind of where I'm at right now. It's like, I think the community deserves to voice their opinions and vote on this, but I'm not like, I'm necessarily going to vote ban. I just want to see what the people think, you know? But doing things like these surveys and opening the thread to discussion like that also gives a lot of room for that as well. So we're kind of going to be hitting on that in the future. It averages 3.49 out of 5. And again, I kind of just summed up what I wrote down there. So yeah, next up is Blastoise. Big, bad Blastoise smashing things left and right with its shell. Forget about it. Blastoise going ham lately with the Shell Smash set, be it with screen support or not. Like, Clay is banned from lower tiers, but that has not stopped the turtle from going ham. Let me tell you guys, Shell Smash Blastoise is monstrous in NU. It will substitute 2 attacks or 3 attacks. Shell Smash has offered a great deal of offensive potential to an otherwise pedestrian offensive Pokemon in Blastoise. Obviously, Water Stab is pretty good. It has other options as well, such as Dark Pulse and Ice Beam. Substitute, of course, can help dissuade status and things like Scald Burns too, which can come in handy there. There are definitely some hard checks and counters to it, be it things like Mantine with Haze and just general revenge killers, such as Priority, or things that are potentially faster at +2, although really, that only limited to like 1 or 2 Pokemon, such as like Protect Ninjask, that's a 50-50, or I'm thinking there's some faster Scarfer out there, but even then, it's really fringe. In terms of revenge killing, it's actually quite limited besides, say, First Impression from Sirfetchd, or if you weaken enough to certain priority moves. But revenge killing offensively being limited is what kind of pushes it over in some people's opinions, and that's why 11 people voted 4 and 4 people voted 5. Defensively, I believe there's sufficient counterplay. I think it lacks the Ochko potential, if you will, the one-shot potential to really get more than a couple kills more than 1 kill against most balanced teams, if even 1 kill. There are some sets that are just going to be hard-walled. Also, there's been a lot of adaptation to it. We've seen things like Yachi Berry on Dragology and Rotomc, which is pretty cool. Sorry, in addition to that, we've seen Pokemon that really just don't let it set up too very well. And on bulky offensive teams, it's easy to overwhelm it. Obviously, subsets are kind of able to flip the tables if one of the Pokemon that's able to dissuade is something like a toxic water type like Vaporeon that likes Haze, or even a Bronzong. You can kind of sub in that space, maybe just in a free turn, and that can go a long way. Of course, a lot of Pokemon do have ways to damage it offensively and keep the momentum up, but all in all, definitely mixed bag. Personally, I've seen 2 out of 3. I think I put 2, but I totally understand why people voted higher. But the overall response was a 2.71, so just a tad below where we were with Sirfetchd. Probably means we're not going to act on it promptly, but we're definitely going to keep it in discussions. It received enough support where it should clearly be on our radar. The next survey it's going to be included in for sure, but maybe it's not going to get suspected before that. We'll have to wait and see. Another Pokemon we're going to have to gauge the pulse of discussions, perceptions, and talk more with the council before we proceed accordingly in one way or another, but something that we should be cognizant of nonetheless. Finally, what do we feel about Rotomc, Rotom we're in the cut, guys. It's here. 15 people voted for, which is the second most of the three, and 6 people voted 5, which is also, second most of the three. She's got a little more support than Blastoise, but a little less than Sirfetchd, kind of in between, a little close to the Sirfetchd of the two. A lot of people voted down the middle with 3. Overall, 29 of the 48 responses, so again, over 60% this time around voted for 3 or 4. Yeah, it's true that over 25% voted 1 or 2, but a lot of people are like, yeah, I would suspect this, or yeah, I would even vote ban it. I mean, I kind of view 3 as, yeah, I'm okay with the suspect, but I'm not necessarily ban or not. 4 is like, I'm definitely good with the suspect, but I'm not 100% sure if I vote ban, lean towards that way. And 5 is like, yeah, suspect, just ban it, etc. So that's where we are. And 1 and 2 is like, yeah, 2, I'd okay with the suspect, kind of, but I definitely wouldn't vote ban. And 1's like, nah, this is no problem, forget about it. And that's like, okay, to each your own. I think it's really hard because Volt Switch immunity that has Leaf Storm checking prowess is pretty much non-existent in the metagame right now. A lot of teams either use something like Dragology or their own Rotomc, or one of the few viable grass types in the metagame to really keep it in check. It also has things like Nasty Plot and Will-O-Wisp to really dissuade counterplay over the course of the game. And seeing as it's Pokemon with Volt Switch, it's really able to, from momentum. Scarf sets are great too. We've seen other items, again, Yachi Berry, Heavy Duty Boots, Leftovers, even Specs is viable. Has options like Trick and Pan Split, really ton of utility. It's hard to pinpoint one set is necessarily broken, although the Nasty Plot set with 2 attacks and Pan Split is really damn good, probably the best set of the bunch in terms of brokenness, but I don't know if it's there yet. I give it a 3. For me, I don't think we should suspect at the moment in time, but I definitely think we should keep it on the radar, maybe even a little more than Blastoise, but I'm really curious to see what you guys think. So let me know what you think of Sirfetchd, of Blastoise, and of Rotomc in the NU metagame. In addition, there are some other topics that were discussed here. 20.4% of people believe some other Pokemon that was not listed above should be suspected. People were discussing things like Salazzle, Starmie, Bronzong, Golett, Tantrum. For me, Salazzle could be seen as problematic, but none of the others. And then 47% wanted to see something retested, or at least considered retesting that. And they listed Tornadus, Pangoro, Sigilyph, Beware, and DDM. For me, Tornadus you could maybe convince me on. Same with DDM, but Sigilyph and Beware, they're pretty busted when they're in the tier. Pangoro, a little less convinced on it being broken, but I don't really think it add anything to the tier, so like, okay in theory, not really strongly supporting of it. Overall, I don't think a retest is really important right now. I think we should figure out the Pokemon in the metagame right now first, let it settle a little bit, and then maybe a little down the line, we'll have to wait and see. But for now, I think the metagame is pretty good. We've seen a lot of 7s, a lot of 8s on the metagame, but still some room for improvement, so hopefully we could figure out that next step. What do you guys think the next step is? What do you guys think of the metagame? Let me know down below in the comments. Thank you so much for the support. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and hope you have a great day. Alright, later guys. Peace.